Welcome to the CFG GameCast, episode number 93, a weekly podcast created by gamers and streamers alike to discuss the latest gaming topics from the previous week. We stream a new episode on Saturdays and release it on podcast services like Apple, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and so much more. So show us some love, give us a follow, a like, a comment, what have you on any of our podcast services that are out there, or go to our main website, Con Freaks and Geeks, to not miss an episode. I am Mr. CFG Games himself, Davis Green, and with me today are my awesome co-host. I got Lex in the second seat. What is going on, my cyborg?
Hey, you. Not much. I was playing Resident Evil. I caved. I caved. The last Resident Evil I played was on the Game Boy, which I believe is called Guardian.
No, right?
Gaiden. Sorry, Gaiden.
Yeah. You literally played one of the worst Resident Evils that are out there.
And it was terrible. And I finished it because we were broke. And that was the new game I got. And I felt bad telling my mom that it was terrible, that we needed to return it. So I played it multiple times. But I've been playing that. That was great. I like being stepped on by 9-foot women. So that was a discovery this week. But not too much.
I'm really glad that you went past your comfort zone. It's really appreciative.
I did. It's not very scary, though. I gotta say, it's really not. Like, you can really tell the jump scares are coming.
Well, here's a question though. Were you a fan of? Was Song of Horrors still more scarier than what? Well, Song of Horrors was still more scarier than what this is, or?
Absolutely.
Oh, it was. Wow. Okay.
I think Five Nights at Freddy's is scarier than this.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I think more psychological. I guess I could see where this is like in the horror genre. Mm-hmm. Obviously, there's gore. Mm-hmm. But Opie only ran out of the room once, and that was because of the loud banging and the shooting right at the beginning of the game. Not to give anything away. She could hear that. I accidentally had hit the little button on my headphones, so I cranked it all the way up, and I was like, and I pulled them out, and she heard it and was like, oh, I'm out of here, and she took off. But we usually rate games by how many Opies that run out the door, and this one is a 1.
Oh wow! But you yourself is enjoying it. That's all really matters.
Oh, I'm enjoying it. I just don't think it's scary.
Oh, okay. That's good. That's good. All right, and today we have a special guest. Smitty is out doing some Smitty thing, so we have a special guest with us today. He is a streamer, a lawyer in real life, which is very good. That does a lot of video gaming and it does some really cool stuff.
Nah.
Yeah, and is the creator of the One Up podcast. I'd like to introduce you, Sean, aka the One Up Lawyer. How are you doing?
Doing very well today. Thanks for the invite, bro. Really excited. Talk about some news and some games.
That sounds awesome as always. Did you do anything special this week? Anything cool?
I mean, other than work, I'm looking for an apartment, so that's apartment hunting. Should be fun.
Just mostly adult stuff. The one thing I always remember was when you were playing Mortal Kombat and I was watching your story mode. That was just like, it was one of my favorite parts when you're just fighting the last boss and then you're just like, wait, she can do that? Like,
listen, they shouldn't have snuck up on me like that, okay?
How dare they?
I know. It's like gaming. Always fair. But anyway. But yeah, right? But as for me though, I've actually had a very productive week in games. So I finished Returnal on Thursday.
Nice.
Beat that, which by the way, yeah, Returnal.
Already?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Already. It's been 3 weeks. It's been a good bit. Finished
that
on Thursday.
On like 4 games.
Oh yeah, well, yeah, yeah. That I will have to say, in my short review of Returnal, this is a must get. This is one of the best games on the PS5 already, and it definitely represents it. The best spatial sound I've ever seen in a game, by far right now. That just freaks you out. It just keeps you on a tingly edge throughout the whole time that you're playing it. Very fun. The music is very cool. The subtlety and the story. simple story, but there's so many twists that I guarantee that you would not see coming. So this is a must get for the PS5 if you're a PS5 owner. And then the next day I beat the Ratchet and Clank remake, the one that came out in 2016. So finished that yesterday. Yeah, so I beat 2 games this week. Yeah, so like I'm like, wow, okay, cool. So now I'm in this gray area because now I got to wait till June 11th because that's when Guilty Gear, Final Fantasy VII, and the new Ratchet and Clank, all that comes out the same day. So I need, and Mario Golf. So yeah,
you're gonna be busy.
I'm going to be busy, but now I need to find something I need to see if I can keep myself, occupied with until then. But we'll figure it out. But enough about me trying to figure out what I need to finish and deciding to dominate. So let's go through the normal rigmarole that we normally like to do each and every week. So each of us picks a topic of a news topic of discussion within video games from the previous week. The topic would or could be about a specific game or something that happened in the gaming industry itself, and we don't want to talk about it amongst ourselves. We want you, the viewers on Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook Live, to be a part of the conversation. So if you're wanting to, if you see, hear, or listen to what we're talking about inside the chat, inside our episode, by all means type it inside the chat. We will love to include you in our conversation. So definitely let's get down to it. So we'll have our guest Sean start us off as always. So Sean, by all means, you have the floor.
Take it away, sir.
All right. Well, I guess we're talking today a little bit about the Apple Epic debacle, I'm going to call it, because this court case has been going on for a while now. And a whole bunch of stuff for the gaming industry has come out as a result of this. One of those things being a redacted document that seems to suggest that there's probably a chance, maybe, possibly, that we might get Game Cloud, xCloud, whatever they're calling it now, on the Switch. The Xbox exec was interviewed about it, and they were asked questions essentially about them getting onto Apple with xCloud, but the redacted portions, the only thing it could really be is in regards to Nintendo, because since they're the only other major company that's not mentioned in here. And so the main question that's interesting to me is the attorney asked, so I'm curious, what about your job? Has you involved in the discussions to put streaming available on Apple on iOS, but it doesn't have you also involved with regard to and it's redacted. So I'm assuming that the end of that question is Nintendo. Are you going to be on the Nintendo Switch? And this was originally reported by Steven Totillo. Hopefully I said his name right. But he said that Nintendo's execs essentially said that it reflects competitively sensitive information about negotiations between Nintendo and Microsoft. So, quick breakdown for everything. xCloud was supposed to be on iOS. It's currently on Android, I think, already. They wanted it on iOS, but Apple wanted them to essentially have every single game that was put on there reviewed as though it was a single submission to the iOS store, which there are hundreds of Game Pass games. So I'm assuming what they wanted was anytime something was purchased through Game Pass, Apple would get a cut of it. So Xbox was like, nah, we're not doing that.
Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah. I mean, it would be crazy expensive for them.
I mean, when you think about it, like everything goes on everything on the Xbox or Xbox Live goes through Microsoft servers. So essentially, they're saying anything that goes through the Microsoft servers that goes through the iOS via xCloud. That means they would piece that out individually, like piece by piece.
Yes. Yeah,
Oh,
individual.
God.
So if you had 2K on there, then guess what? If you get it on Apple iOS, then Apple has to review it and do it. And then if, Gears of War, Xbox exclusives, they're going to get it too.
Wow.
Silly.
Wow.
Yeah. And it's a 30% cut, as we found out.
30%. That is insane.
Yeah.
Well, and
it's a
think
lot.
of that in like indie game terms. Like we're talking now about a company. Sorry if I interrupted your thought, But we're talking about a company that's already making millions, going after another company, again, that's already making millions, billions, however much money. But think about it in terms of an indie developer. Like the three of us come together, we make a game, we do the voiceovers ourselves, we've created a product that we think the market will like, we've tested it, we go to put it out there and they're taking 30%. We're not even recouping just man hours. You know what I mean? Like, and I think that's something that's really important to think about. Like, yes, this whole lawsuit seems silly when you look at it from just a billionaire and a billionaire going at it. This is going to set a precedent for how indie developers are going to be treated in the market and how competitive it will be from there on out. You know what I mean?
I'm sorry. Like the way I look at it is like, I mean, bulkily, the hit for an indie developer for this is a steep hit for 30%. Don't get me wrong, it really is. But to say that like a conglomerate that has a library of games, and then they're saying already that the xCloud is going to give you like an xCloud that's going to get that houses all those games, to in return say the other company is saying we need to get 30% per game, is insanely far-fetched. Because on top of that, is like that's not even including the fact that it's just indie. On top of that, they're saying the presence of xCloud itself is making you like, they're forcing you to say, oh, this xCloud has thousands of games on here. Okay, that's 30% for each 1,000 of games on here instead of one bulk thing.
No.
That is in those kind of numbers, that's astronomically insane and just ridiculously crazy, you know. So I think it's ridiculous. That in itself is just ridiculous, and then that's just showing the bad practice, or what Apple's trying to get away with. Because the biggest thing of the fact of the matter is that Apple just has the balls, because they're the one that set the precedent of what the marketplace is today. They were the first to come out, like 15 years ago, to do it. There was no reason for them to change their practices, because there was no competition at the time when they did it, until like, you know, Google Play, the Play Store, and all this different kind of stuff slowly came in and did their things. But they still are the number one for this. So they're trying to still keep their old ways and trying to change rather than changing with the times, that kind of thing. And there's no way that's going to fly, in my opinion. And I'm sorry, what were you going to say, Sean?
I agree, and I think also the developmental issues it would cause, because if they're doing it for each game, then that also means however Xbox did xCloud on iOS, they'd have to program in Apple's payment system as opposed to just going through their normal system. So I'm pretty sure that is why we don't have xCloud on iOS, and who knows if we ever will, just because of those barriers. What
I find very funny or very fascinating about this, though, is like there's two things I find very fascinating. First thing is that you're saying that like they were trying to make a point saying that xCloud, like why isn't the xCloud has been on Redacted, which we all are assuming. I mean, we can't say that it was the Switch, but at the same time, we can't not say that it was the Switch. But like, they were trying to counter it, saying like, why is it not on this other system? But yet they are in possible talks. We were kind of going, this is all assumptions. This is not guaranteed assumptions, but the possible talks towards this. So like, what were they trying to get at with this? Like, that's what I don't understand.
From the lawsuit side, the entire lawsuit boils down to what the marketplace is, right? So for antitrust lawsuits, you have to discuss what is the marketplace. So if the marketplace is all gamers, right, then Apple will end up winning, because they'll say, well, it's all gamers. So there's an Xbox, there's a PlayStation, there's a Nintendo Switch. There are all these things that gamers can buy from. So if they happen to buy from Apple, there's competition already in the market. So it can't be antitrust, right? We can't have no competition here. There's multiple systems. But Epic is arguing that each area of gaming is segmented, right? So just because someone has an Xbox, right? Or I should switch it. Just because someone has a phone doesn't mean that they have an Xbox, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So they're saying there's a larger player base in mobile than there is in the consoles, right? My mom will play mobile games. My mom does not play Xbox.
Right.
Right.
Okay.
So
that's interesting. Oh, because you think about it. I mean, we all have to go to the bathroom. What do? We take our phones and we play a game while we're going to the restroom. So
I don't. I'm on TikTok.
Well, yeah, same. Well, you're on some sort of. So that's true. I mean, that would be that's your cash cow, really, if you think about it.
But then again, that mentality.
So they're trying.
But that mentality sounds kind of flawed to me, because in the same sense, wouldn't that mentality also kind of go back to, like, you know, this led me to the second way of thinking, that the same kind of, wouldn't this be treated the same kind of way of what Netflix or Hulu or HBO Max, all these different kinds of groups, like that would allow you to watch movies and stuff within their internal network on your phone through because iOS does have a Netflix app, iOS does have a Hulu app and stuff like that. Like, so what are they doing? Are they doing the same kind of thing? Like, or is that classified as something separate? Because they don't necessarily own the rights to those movies and stuff like that. Like, would that be comparable to what they're talking about for the xCloud itself?
Yeah, I mean, that's a good analogy.
It'd probably be similar.
Okay. So how are they getting away with that? But then but the gaming side, they're trying to do this weird tax. Oh no, this weird tax on trying to do for this kind of thing. So I mean that's what drives me like irritating. Like, the double standard here looks very clear and present to me, and it just seems very messed up. So I mean,
well, I think
there's a lot of double standards when you really think about it, and it's not just with gaming, like music industry too. Like, there's absolutely a huge standard, and I mean, I feel like that would be just as comparable as to like the Netflix theory, but it's like how it's just people being greedy at this point is how I feel. You're absolutely being greedy. You could have settled this outside of court, come to a decision that made both parties happy, and move on, and maybe set a future precedent. Now you're really going to set a precedent for how games are purchased in the future, and you're both going to go through the ringer of having to deal with going to court. Not that they care, the CEOs, because they're not actually doing it, but I just rich people being rich people. That's how I feel about it. Like, quit crying and get over it. Just
I'm sorry. Yeah, but what were you saying, Sean?
I think it really comes down to the difference between the Netflix and the gaming is that Apple's not making money off of the Netflix app, right? Like, if you get a Netflix subscription, it's through Netflix, so they're not really getting any cuts there. Whereas with Fortnite and other games, Raid Shadow Legends and all those phones that we see all the time, every time there's a transaction, Apple's making money. And so, I mean, the baseline of this suit is rich people being rich, right? So Epic was saying there's $3 to $5 million that we're missing out on. So let's make a lawsuit about it.
Yeah, but but this is what I'm saying, because I'm kind of going to look through the chat here, because Ricardo Fall was saying, so if xCloud has to pay for every game submitted, shouldn't Netflix pay for the same movies, pay for every movie we can watch? And I mean, that's exactly where my mentality was going too. And then Monkey Blood replied back. I was going to say retaliated, but not that aggressive. But just saying, I don't know what the arrangement is, but you can run xCloud on not Jordan now, but Netflix does lease those films. They show that aren't Netflix originals. They pay, but I doubt that they pay 30% per. I mean, because like if they're going to be doing it that way, Netflix would be losing money on that iOS. I don't even see how that is. And then like how if Apple does put a 30% on top, yeah, and if Apple does put a 30% on the subscription. Oh, exactly what Monkey Blood said.
I would say it's what Monkey Blood said at the end there. Netflix, if you go into Netflix, you can't sign up for Netflix just through iOS, like the iOS app. It will kick you to their website because they didn't want to pay. They didn't want to pay them that. The difference is Epic said, screw all that. We're just going to put in a way for you to pay in the app that doesn't use Apple.
Okay.
Also, though, think about it this too. A lot of the reason that Netflix cancels their like original TV shows only after like 2 or 3 seasons is because they're not making money because they're not doing what Apple is doing, essentially.
Yeah, but I just feel like that's just way. I mean, Apple just needs to change that through the times. It's like we were talking before the podcast.
Stubborn.
But I mean, I don't get me wrong. 30% to us is. I mean, we're not getting the kind of hands over fist money that Apple's getting. So there's decision making is more like incredibly more monumental than what we would ever do. But I will say this though, but like. If it was still as aggressive as Apple, like 2008, 2009 Apple's store and stuff, it's justifiable. But now we got options, and I think that this level of dominance that they're trying to do on the gaming side for phone needs to be kind of leaned back towards this. But I mean, and thus leading us to believe that Microsoft could possibly be now on Switch and stuff is a very good possibility, because what they're doing right now is that they're forcing them to do this kind of thing. It's just like okay, so yeah, so who knows, but
we've seen it in other things as well, because I mean, recently MLB The Show just is now on Xbox, and it was PlayStation exclusive for like 15 years.
It's made by
the
PlayStation.
MLB wanted more people.
It's made by made by a PlayStation's company.
It's weird.
Yeah.
MLB The Show. If you like boot it up on your Xbox, it's kind of weird because it has like the PlayStation intro stuff, because it is a PlayStation Studios game.
Yeah. It's a proprietary game that's on it's a proprietary game that's on a separate system, that's on a different system, which is incredibly weird to see. It's very weird to see that of all of them though too, because but to be fair though, there's really only one baseball game. Just to be
there is.
Just like is there only one. And to be clear,
in the Apple situation and Epic thing, just so everyone knows, Epic sued the Google Play Store as well.
Yeah, they did.
For the same thing. We're just I think Google Play was like, oh, if they're gonna go to trial on Apple, we'll just sit and chill out and see what happens, and then make a determination how we want to go forward from there, so we don't have to pay for our lawsuit.
That's very true. They're just gonna settle. They'll be like, wow. Well, I really hope that where this is going to go, because I really think this is going to definitely. I think this is going to be a pretty big change over this, even though the level of greed on both sides is just ridiculously crazy. But still, the fact that they said that they brought Microsoft in the mix of all of this with the xCloud and stuff, and then saying what they were possibly doing, I just find incredibly fascinating. So that's just so crazy. All right, well, yeah, that was a good topic, Sean. So,
thank you.
Yes. So let's hand it over to Lex's side. So Lex, why don't we bring it to you? What are you bringing to the table?
So I'm gonna save you some money, because unfortunately I can't delete mine, but maybe you were looking to get it. So I have found you a hack. Xbox Game Pass subscribers. If you have. When EA joined Xbox Pass, the gamers discovered a clever pricing loophole. It was possibly sudden to save a ton of money on Microsoft Premier subscription service, which is the ultimate of their Game Pass services. It costs $15 per month. That doesn't seem a lot, but in the long run, of course it is, especially when you're balling on a budget. Basically, it includes Game Pass, xCloud streaming, as well as Xbox Live Gold in total. What you do is you redeem your 1-year EA Play for 4 months of Game Pass Ultimate. Since 1 year of EA Play costs just $30, you could essentially get Game Pass Ultimate for half the price, cutting your monthly subscription to $7.50. And of course, I will link you guys the article in case you are curious in doing that for yourself. But I'm frugal. Whatever, even when I have money, if I can save a buck, it's like, why would I pay more when I can pay less? But yeah, no, I sat here before we went live looking to end my Game Pass for the fourth week in a row, and I don't have the button that they say in the instructions, so I'm gonna have to call somebody and yell at them,
But wait a minute, I thought you said they closed. I thought they closed that loophole. Is it still active?
This is a new loophole.
Oh wow, that is crazy.
So this one's a smidgen different. Like, it literally, this article came out today, so it is still active. When they figure it out, I'm sure it won't be. So if that's something that you're interested in, I would definitely check it out, because there are some really great games on there, especially if you haven't played them before. I wouldn't see why not. And you can always cancel it at any time. Well, maybe not, because I can't cancel anytime, but I'm sure you can, and it'll be fine. But yeah, the library is extensive, and you can always go through and check the libraries before you purchase. It's like window shopping. Window shop for your game. See what you can get as far as the good deal. Like, Humble Bundle always has good deals. It's just never really anything that's up my alley. But the Medium is on there, which was fantastic. If you're into spooky horror, that was more psychological horror. But there's a lot of stuff in there. So
overall, I just wanted to make sure I got this correct though. So you're saying that to buy a 1 year of EA Play, which is $30, then it will allow you to do Game Pass for $7.50 for a year. So that's like, you're paying $38 just for a year of Game Pass, and unfortunately,
but
EA
not just
Play.
Game Pass. Not just Game Pass. You get Game Pass, xCloud streaming, as well as Xbox Live Gold, which has more games on it than just Xbox Pass, if I am not mistaken. So they're higher, triple. They're higher triple titles. So you're kind of raking in. You're swimming in games that you can play. You can just sit down and make angels in them at this point. But I saw that and I went, why did I sign up for that? I was also supposed to get 3 months for $1, and they immediately started charging me $10.
Okay, so Lucenta just said that the Microsoft site converts EA Play to Game Pass Ultimate, but it didn't work for me. So I'm not really familiar with it on how it all, because it seems very weird with all of it, because I don't have the only time I had Ultimate Game Pass was when Discord gave me a free 3 months for it. And then I played Gears Tactics, and I was like, "Oh, that was a good game." And then I canceled it. So I haven't used their whole library towards it, but very much so. So it seems very interesting to me.
I'm still on that original loophole where it was like, if you bought Xbox Live for the year, and then did the month trial for $1. For some reason, they'd put the month trial at the end of your Xbox Live. So I just maxed out my Xbox Live for 3 years, and then did the $1 thing. So I had Game Pass. I've paid $1 for Game Pass, and I have till 2022.
Oh wow! So yeah, you really, wow, dang, that's smart. That's very smart. It's funny. The only thing I got was I don't have anything Microsoft, and there's no reason for me to get with the Game Pass, because for me, it's not my kind of cup of tea. But the only thing I got was the PSN, 3 years of PSN for $60.
Really?
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah,
that's
but
nice.
Yeah, but not really. I don't really play PSN online that or against with people that much. But then it's but I found a special that was if you get there was a bundle deal that took a code that was 80% off or something. That If you just buy all 3 of them, you get the code for 60% off. And I was like, okay, I'll do that. That sounds good.
after my first brain surgery and I got my PlayStation, every year for my birthday, like I would get a gift from my dad. Excuse me, but he would also give me a pass for the whole year because he knew I'm sitting in bed recouping most of my days. But in the article I linked, it does show you how to do it, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, for those that are curious. But Bad Gail said a great, I don't know how to say a name, so I'm just going to say it like that. He said, amongst streamer and lawyer, one up is also a pirate. There is nothing wrong with being a pirate, sir and
Arg.
or madam. Arg.
Well,
I am a
first off,
pirate. Because here's the thing, I can't pay for everything.
You're calling him out like straight up on this. That's funny.
So you all know that's my law
side.
partner.
Oh, it
That's
is?
my law partner. So, yes.
That is
Come
hilarious.
to the dark side.
That's hilariously
You
awesome.
love it here. Well, no, it's funny because I showed Dust Drag Race, and he goes, "So which service is it on?" Because now he's into it, and there's nothing wrong with that. For anyone that's about to shame him, I will punch you in the throat. Drag Race is hysterical. It's comedic genius. But he was like, so is it Hulu, Amazon? And I was like, no, it's its own thing now. And he was like, well, guess we're pirates now. I was like, arg.
I think overall, like
Get my iPad.
I have no problems of like finding the loopholes, because it's not like you're doing something illegal, but rather it's like, how you have those people that are like super coupon savers that like come in and spend like $500 of groceries, but they really spent, but they come out that the grocery store is paying you to take the groceries off of their hands.
I've never figured that out.
That's the same kind of that's the same kind of situation. It's not like you're going into like a black market and just saying, I need give me the code so I can get into the back door of this thing. It's just like some people found a way to do it. The original loophole was what you're doing right now, Sean, as well as the new loophole.
Napster. Yeah.
Now I feel like if I gotta give $30 of my money to give to EA Play to get that edge to it, I'm like, oh god, I gotta take a shower before for me to feel any better on this.
dirty.
Give it to the evil empire.
Give it to the evil empire, and then on top, because and then you're like, okay, give $750 back. I would feel like, oh, that's worse. And what's worse is that Microsoft doesn't get most of that money. That's all mostly going to be going to EA towards it. So that's all I find very funny out of all of this. Let's see. Con Freaks and Geeks has turned from a convention of freaks and geeks to conning. Wow. That's a pretty statement.
Hey,
hard statement.
Sentai, you knocked that off.
Yo ho,
no, I mean we pay so much. I mean, in the retrospect, I mean, just talking to Davis and Smitty, like offhand, I mean, we talk about like what shows we're watching, and in my head, I'm like, that's Hulu. That's Disney. That's Netflix. That's this, and it doesn't seem like a lot when you're like, oh, it's only $10 a month, or it's only this. Well, when you start adding things up, it's like, almost like you're paying for cable. And my mom the other day asked for my Netflix password, and I was like, yeah, sure. If I remember what it is, I'll send it to you. Because poor thing, she doesn't have Netflix, but I taught her how to ARG, but then she broke her computer, so that was her fault. But
well, I'm just saying this. I'm just saying this is like, you shouldn't feel non-justified for it. I mean, the way I look at it is you're finding the best deal. You found the best deal, and you're going to do what you're going to do. So
absolutely.
It's not like you're, like I said, it's not like you're you're hacking through their systems to get what you're getting. You're getting it the straight way.
They're still getting my viewership. Yeah, they're still getting my viewership. So. As long as
I wouldn't also be maybe saying that you're sharing your password on podcasts with anybody. Just saying.
Fun fact: if you guys ever watch my stream, you'll know that me and my mother are not close. I think we talk once every 6 months. She's already forgotten. I've never sent her the password, so it's like, you're good.
So we'll see.
She'll probably complain to me again, and I'll be like, "Oh, that sucks. You should get Netflix."
Have you used Xbox Game Pass though yourself, Sean? Do you use it yourself?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so
I use it. My girlfriend uses it.
Is it because you can't cancel, or you just actually enjoy it?
That's just your issue.
I've only paid $1.
Shut up.
I've only paid $1 for it, so I'm still enjoying it.
Who's only paid $1? I'm so mad. I don't want to talk.
A dollar. Yeah, but then again, because I've only, like I said, the only time I used it, I didn't use it correctly. I played one game and then I got off of it. But I mean, how often do they rotate their games? Like games are coming on, games are coming off, or like if a game that comes off, then you you downloaded it. Do you still have access to it? Do you know what I mean? Is that how that works?
Yeah. It's a licensing deal for them, right? So they license different games. It's just like Netflix. So there are games that come in, games that come out. If they're on there, as long as they're on there, you have access to it. If they go out, then you're going to lose that access if you don't pay for it. Now, you can also buy the games for a discount while they're on Game Pass. They usually rotate, I think, monthly. They'll have different games that come in and come out. It's a good way to, if you like sports games, normally they'll end up on Game Pass, usually I'd say like 3 or 4 months before the next one comes out. So like they just put FIFA 21 on there a couple of days ago. It's just a wide library, and usually there's a game, like if you can't get the AAA titles right when they come out, there's usually going to be a game that's AAA that comes in that, you know, you're like, oh, I really wanted to play that.
Yeah, they're pretty good about rotating. It's just not something that's up my alley, unfortunately.
That's cool. Yeah, because like you're saying, like, I mean, $15.99 for Ultimate Game Pass. Well, there's no reason for me to have an Ultimate. The Ultimate Game Pass is just allowing you to play it on your Xbox and your PC, right? What if you just want PC? Do you have to have Ultimate?
No.
No? Oh, okay. Man, I don't know. I need to take a look into it a little bit more because, like, that's only the one thing I would really care about, because $15.99 is kind of pricey.
It can be.
I mean, that's,
although they're losing money on it.
They are? Really? You think so?
They don't make anything off it. I mean, just the sheer number of games that's on there that they had to license. I guarantee you that if they break even at that price, they'll be lucky.
Well, they were talking about jacking the price up a couple of months ago, but then the way they were implementing it didn't make any sense. So they put that on hold because of how crazy it is. Because like right now, $15 a month is $180 a year. So I'm just saying, like, I feel like they will, if they're going to be going, because it seems like how this generation for Microsoft, it feels that their emphasis is going to be about, like, you know, their Game Pass over their gaming, their proprietary games. So if they're going to be all in on this, don't be surprised for them to jack a price for a price hike eventually here in the near future. Because yeah, you're probably right about that. If it's that vast. So let's see. It's not bad if you think about it. About the price of 3 games a year gives you access to so many games, and all their first party titles are available day one. But here's the thing: I've always my beef with Game Pass is that what this is it's Steam. Just for Microsoft. I mean, like their library accessibility. It's awesome that you got the library accessibility, but then it cloaks a bigger issue, in my opinion. And the bigger going is that there is no first party proprietary games to make you scream out to say, yes, this is Microsoft. This is the games I'm going to get, because it's only on that system. You know, because Nintendo has it, Sony has it. And stuff like that. The problem is that like the way Microsoft is implementing this, it's not really a problem, but this is the way that they're kind of masking their downside about this is perfect, but you can only do so much with this. I mean, saying, oh, you know what, you can play your library of awesome games for a good cheap price, but these are games that's been out for forever, you know? I mean, the games that's showing the utilization or the capacity of what the Xbox Series X and the Series S is. Series X is clouding to be the strongest console ever, like graphic wise, everything wise, like 4K, native 4K and stuff, but they don't have a game to show it's what it can do, you know? I mean, instead it's saying, hey, you can play Gears 5 on a utilized version of Gears 5 on here, and I think that's the problem. That's my issue on why people feel like this with Xbox Game Pass, and why like I always kind of counter with Smitty saying that, because Smitty sees the accessibility of Game Pass is the reason why Mike feels like Sony is falling behind on it. And I'm saying I disagree. I think that the reason why Sony is doing that is because Sony knows they don't have to do it. Microsoft has to do it. If they don't,
oh no, absolutely.
Yeah, if they didn't have, if Microsoft didn't have Game Pass, they would be DOA at this point. Like there would be nothing for you to justify a reason for you to get an Xbox Series X or Series S or all that stuff. Yeah, so that was my reasoning of this, and more power to them. I think I'm glad it's successful because, like I said, I don't want the best competition to make it better for all gamers is for gaming companies like Sony to have competition, and that's the one kind of thing I think they need to deal with with it. Let's see, what did you say? What does Nomad Joker say? I mean, Sony is looking to counter Game Pass with their own version. Yeah, but they're still, I mean, they don't have to do it. They don't need to be all in like where Microsoft is right now. Is my point towards it.
Yeah, I agree with Lucentai. It's funny because Game Pass always felt like a bit of a response to PlayStation Plus, giving all of the freebies.
Kind of.
Yeah, for the most part.
Because Xbox Live had games with gold.
Mm-hmm.
So you got and you still do. So if you get Game Pass, you get games with gold. So you get 2 actual free titles every month, and that just depends on what game they license out. And sometimes it'll be a fairly new game. I just feel like Microsoft they're trying to outpace the console war because they understand that at the power that the consoles are getting to, that the line between console and PC is going to blur at some point. And that's why right now they're doing a lot more. You can play Microsoft stuff on your PC, you can play it on Xbox, you can play it wherever. And because they don't make money off the Xbox. Like the price tag that they have for this system with what's in it, they're not making any money off of that. They make money off of getting, subscription things or you paying for cosmetics and games and stuff like that. That's where they're making their money.
Yeah, but they've been also trying to race on these studios to kind of be like, okay, because hence why are they so aggressive on buying studios out the past several years? Because they're wanting to have that infrastructure to be like, okay, Double Fine, it's going to be a Microsoft exclusive where they can only play it. You can play it on the Microsoft or PC situations, or the one who did Ninja Theory. It's another one of them to be like to be like, okay, you can only play it on this system. And stuff, so Obsidian Entertainment. So like, I mean, there's so many different Bethesda, the big ones, Bethesda. But like, I just think that like overall, I just feel that they just need to show that on top of their awesome cloud-based gaming that they got with xCloud, and then also with their Game Pass. Because if you have that with a solid force of games that you like, a solid healthy force of games instead of the same Gears or Halo and stuff like that, I think that's when it will where I will say, okay, they're a force to be reckoned with compared to what Sony is doing, because Sony still has ways to go for their online infrastructures as well as their cloud-based stuff, even though they do have like Gaikai and stuff like that, and when they try to do it PlayStation. Their PlayStation weird cloud-based gaming for the PS3 stuff and everything, but like that's where I would see them as a threat, but I don't see them as a threat right now. They're just I think Game Pass is holding them head over the water right now towards this until we see what their next level is.
Yeah, Sean made a really good comment. He said that the lines are being blurred between console and computer. I had an 8-year-old call me this week. My friend's little girl, she called me and she was just like, Auntie, I don't know what I want. And I said, what are you talking about? And she was like, if I want to go to PlayStation or an Xbox or just build a PC. I'm thinking of building a PC. Tell me why I should. And I explained to her, this is why you would purchase this console. This is why you would purchase this console. This is why you would build a PC. And she was like, well, I want to do what you do. I said, you want to play games online? She said, yeah, I know I'm not old enough yet, but I'm 1 year out. Let me get started. And so we sat there and I mean, she's so knowledgeable. She's 8. No, she's not 8. She's 9 or 10. Sorry. but she's already knowledgeable on like graphics cards and this and that, and how to build a PC and all the shells. And so I didn't mean to convince her, but I feel like she was already leaning towards a PC already. But I mean, kids this young are already figuring out the pros and cons. So somebody's got to step up somewhere here, or you're going to lose your audience real quick.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Because I don't even think that's generation whatever. That's even further down.
Right.
I don't know what they're called yet. Do they have a name?
Stuff.
But whatever is after Z, A, Generation A.
Probably double A at this point. Hexadecimal system.
Anthem stings. You stop that. He's not here.
All right. Well, that was a good topic, Lex. Thanks for that, as always. And I will close this off with my topic. And my topic. Oh, wow. Well, thanks for the appreciation there. But my topic. Yeah, my topic is about the we're going to be hitting June. Normal June usually means the E3 is coming in like a week or two, in about 2.5 weeks, and so but once again, E3 has announced that they are going to be doing it as fully. They're going to be back, but they're going to be fully online this year for obvious reasons. So but Jeff Keighley like decided to kind of bring the first shots fired of like, you know, of possibly making his event bigger than E3 with his event that he started last year called the Summer Game Festival. So if you don't know what the Summer Game Festival is, Jeff Keighley is also the creator of the video game awards that you see online on Twitch now and stuff. But the Summer Game Fest is his own little baby that he started that was basically him doing the same thing what E3 is doing, but he's inviting big studios to be a part of it. So Keighley was just introducing everybody, announced that he got sponsored by Twitch Gaming for it. Twitch Gaming, and Twitch Gaming is now sponsoring the full event itself. He has 40 different studios doing announcements, reveals, video game show offs, all this stuff that's happening, and it's not just during the E3 timeframe, it's throughout the summer itself. So he's going to be showing an event, like a periodic event on his Summer Game Fest throughout the weeks at some points of time. So there's going to be some special game playthroughs, some interviews and stuff like that. Like it's a whole thing in itself. So it was fun. It was really cool to see him do it last year. But the big thing is I think that like how this is going to be like I feel that the way that he is doing this seems like it's a better, not only interactive, a more interactive way to kind of show the reveals off than what E3 is, and it could and I think this format could possibly work to his advantage than what E3 is itself now, because how E3 is now is well, besides being this is gonna be their first year to ever do fully online for E3, but even if it's not like it's like it's a madhouse over at E3. So like the accessibility I think is way better this way than it is anywhere that I have ever seen. So I wanted to see what y'all's thoughts were about, like, you know, how this version of this competition with the Summer Game Fest to kind of the E3, like what you think, if you think it's a good idea, if you think it might be better, like what y'all's thoughts are about it.
I mean,
didn't they do something like didn't they do this last year and it just totally like bonked?
No, it didn't bonk. It didn't bonk at all. It was like I said, last year was their first year, and but I mean, look at this year they got Twitch Gaming to sponsor it. I mean,
yeah.
That's and just in that alone just kind of says something in itself is the way I look at it. So like
I was on the opposite end.
So
what? I feel like a lot of people have been leaving E3 anyway. You know, so I feel like it probably is a great idea for them to kind of go into that space because E3. I mean, at least the last one where everybody was there. I mean,
sucks. What?
Sony had their own thing, Microsoft had their own thing, so there really wasn't that much that was revealed at E3, in and of itself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, E3, I really think kind of really screwed themselves over with like how they're doing it with E3 is just a nightmare. Like I don't like it sucks because the reason why Sony left was because of the way they didn't agree with the direction that E3 was going, and the reason why E3 was going that direction was money because like the Gamer Pass or whatever, which is a horrible pass that I will urge folks to never purchase on their own. I don't care if we were sponsored, but like I do not want y'all to waste $200 and something just to stay in a line for 6 hours to play a game for 15 minutes and then you have to do it again the next day. So no, I think, and then the way they treat those people, I never really was a big fan of either. So like, but like I could easily understand the push on this, but at the same time though, I'm kind of I don't know if it's me being a brat. I do like going to these physical events because it's just like these are the best times you can physically talk to groups and companies all in one place instead of you going to Canada or to Bend or to all these other places, to be talking to some of these folks, So there's like, if you're there to work, I think E3 is a great spot to do it, but not to but if you're there to be like amazed and dazzled to play and stuff, consumer, then no, this is not that's not the place to go to.
And last year E3, I mean, I watched it while it was happening live, and I mean, just the speakers that they had were droning on and on and on, and it's like, we're not here to listen to you speak to us for 50 minutes about nothing that really has anything to do with this game that you're about to show me. I'm already not wowed by it because it got leaked online. You know what I mean? So I think something, and you said they had 40 developers, like already. You're off to a great start. You have piqued my interest. Now I want to watch. I think as long as I mean, you have to hold them as a conference, yes, but you also have to read your audience. And I think a lot of these companies read it as more like we're executives coming to hear a pitch. And that's not what we're here for. We want to be wowed. We want to be dazzled. We want the sparkles and the fireworks. And you're not giving me none of those, sir. And, I don't want to sit in on a panel where I fall asleep because the guy was talking so long and didn't even show anything,
No.
I'm over it.
Like I said, that's like, but I guess it's just the frame of mind of like, what kind of thing are you trying to get out of the event yourself? Like, if you're there to be like, here's the thing, I want to see when is Final Fantasy 16 coming out. Let me see the previews. I don't care about the other stuff that you're talking about or the background of the voice actors and stuff. I don't care. I want to see when Final Fantasy 16 is there a date so I can reserve it at my local store. There's that kind of fan. But then at the same time, you got press side or you have influencer side that could be like saying
investors.
Exactly, investors and stuff like that to show, which I think in my mind that's what E3 is. It's like they're there to bedazzle and to kind of wine and dine the people and show off the games that are coming out soon. But that's the short game. The long game is like you're trying to impress other people further beyond that, and then the common gamer doesn't care. They want to say, oh, okay, Final Fantasy 16 is coming out in December 2020. It's like, I need to see videos, I need to see all this different kinds of stuff. So in that aspect, I feel that's what makes E3 like needs to be like, as opposed to what they're trying to make it like. They're trying to make it like a PAX, which it shouldn't be, is my point. And I feel like I feel that Summer Game Fest kind of has a best kind of mix with all that kind of stuff with it, because they kind of cut that fat, and they'll be like, they're trying to hype with all these different kinds of games, maybe indie games and so on and so forth. Maybe it might be more organized than what it was last year too. Who knows? But so I mean,
E3 wasn't organized last year very well.
Well, E3 didn't happen last year.
Oh, not last year, the year before. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah.
There's like 5 games in this reel that I'm like, I want to play that.
Mhm.
I don't even know what that is. Where's that cat from? There's another cat. What's that cute fuzzy thing with lots of lights? I have questions. No, I think, I like going to conventions and I think it's a lot of fun. I mean, you were sweet enough to send me and Smitty out on location here. I know getting COVID, but we had fun. But it's really cool. It is fun to go to these conventions and find out things and do panels and stuff like that. TwitchCon, I mean, we were so busy that we didn't really get to see a lot. Um, and there were things that I was really interested in. And if this is it looks pretty cool, I have to say. It looks pretty cool. I might do a live watching
Yeah.
of this if Davis will have me.
Oh, if you wanted to, I didn't know if you were going to. If what's your time? We'll talk about it. We can talk about it off stream.
Okay.
But
And
that's
that
cool.
man, I know that man, that sexy man. Come back, bring him back. Where'd he go?
What about you, Sean? Like, are you kind of like in the same kind of like agreement with where I'm coming from, or like you have something to add to it?
Yeah. I agree with pretty much everything you said. I mean, the only thing I can think of, I think E3, I hope that this doesn't have the same thing because I feel like E3 back in the day was more just about hyping up things and hyping up releases, and that as it got bigger, and the problem is the games industry is an industry. So as it gets bigger, as more people come in, these companies were realizing, well, we can get investors. And that's why you saw people like with Anthem, where they just make up trailers to get investors to come in. And it kind of became less about the gamers and more about the business. So hopefully
in Anthem's defense, though, that's like EA's like marketing plan and for everything that they do. But yeah, you can continue.
Yeah, Cyberpunk 2. We can go with Cyberpunk. There are a couple.
Yeah. But I mean, it's a very I definitely agree. I want I think Summer Game Festival, even though Summer Game Fest, I think it's a great idea towards this, and I hope that they really trim the fat and just show these announcements and show these things off and the cool things that's coming soon with gameplay. And I think the biggest thing is that this game isn't the Summer Game Fest isn't allotted like a time restraint. This isn't a week long. This is the whole summer that they could have new content that's coming in, and that they're going face to face with E3, what they're saying the 10th. I think we might do a live let's watch on some of these, but I'm not all of them. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll definitely see. Kissander, I'm wondering if he's still going to be the next season of something else. Okay, my bad. Anyone else?
It's because his face popped up and he goes, I wonder what game he's going to be in. So I Googled it. It's Far Cry 6 because they're using his likeness as well. Not just his voice. Yeah, I never know how to say his last name or his full name. No, I saw that and immediately was like, that would be a game I'd play. I don't think I played a Far Cry in a long time though.
It's so funny to see him doing all these villain movies. Like the one I remember him on was
He's a smexy man.
Was Do the Right Thing with Spike Lee. That's the one movie I remember him on with
that's a big one.
with the Micah shorts and stuff. But yeah. All right. Hey, Lex.
Yeah.
What are your plans for the week?
Well, unfortunately, my lady has decided she doesn't want to be bothered by me anymore. So, we're gonna finish up some Resident Evil just without my lady. I killed her. Sorry.
You got rid of so wait, you killed Demetrius?
Yeah.
Oh wow, how dare you?
She didn't want to go to bed with me, so I had to murder her.
Wow.
So I'm finishing that up Monday and Wednesday, and then Tuesday I very much owe my community a game night. And then Thursday, I'm not sure. I kind of want to mix up Thursdays and play like hardcore Uno because I am a big cards player, and that is one thing that I've missed out on with the pandemic. Even though I have a pod, I love playing cards, and I would like to challenge my community with some Uno.
Oh, sounds like
or something because there's no Phase 10, unfortunately. But it is what it is.
Oh, okay. Well, that's cool.
What about you, Mr. One Up Lawyer? What are you up to?
Well, I know I'm going to be streaming some Mass Effect this week, reliving my childhood. So definitely want to check that out. I'm actually on a guest on a podcast tomorrow, the Eat for Life podcast.
Being so famous.
Indie. I'm trying to be. I want people to just call me Sean long term and be like Beyonce.
No symbol, not like Prince.
Yep, one. Oh, maybe we'll go with the symbol. Dark Eliza's Jerry Carl avatar. That'll just be me. Everyone will know.
That's exactly what it's gonna be. It's like, oh snap, we know who that is. You know what that means. That's cool. Yeah,
what
cool.
About you, CFG?
Cool. I mean, you want to maybe just want to throw out your podcast too? I mean, where other people can see you on, like, and stuff, like,
definitely.
Yeah. Let me see.
Stuff.
One Up Lawyer. On Twitch, we have a podcast right before yours. Usually, me and Zukara the Tall. Definitely check it out. We do gaming news, but more focused on the legal stuff. So,
okay, awesome, cool deal, dude. Man, as for me, I will have to say I am completely stumped. I was not expecting to beat Returnal nor finishing Ratchet and Clank. So I am.
That was me last week.
Yeah, so I might do. I actually might do Yakuza Like a Dragon, or Judgment. I could do or Judgment. I might do Judgment. I'm not sure yet. And we'll see. Figure out Thursday and Friday. I usually like to mix it up with a brand new, like a different kind of game. So we'll probably do something a little bit different. And but I don't know what I have yet in store for that. So definitely stay tuned, and I will let you know. So anyways, but guys, thank you for listening to us on episode number 93 of the CFG Gamecast. Thank you so much to Sean, the One Up Gamer, or I'm sorry, the One Up Lawyer, to being a part of the conversation with us. Definitely check his stuff out. That is the One Up Lawyer on Twitch. Yeah, he does some really awesome playthroughs, and we are honored for him to come to the show. So thank you, sir.
Well, thank you for the invite. I really appreciate it.
All right, and guys, if you missed the live performance of the CFG Gamecast, that is okay. We released it out on podcast services on Apple, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher Radio, virtually all of the podcast stations out there. So you can definitely have no excuse to listen to our sexy voices. So definitely go check us out there. Give us a like, a follow, comment, whatever. It does go a long way. Or go to our main website, confreaksandgeeks.com, where you can check out all the interviews and stuff that we like to do. Like, we're going to be showing I think we're going to have our review up for Biomutant that's coming out this week. Here on Monday or Tuesday. So definitely go to check the website out for that if you're wanting to stay tuned and check it out. So well, this is Davis, Sean, and Lex signing off. Y'all take it easy.
Bye.
Later.